So what? Apple creating a streaming service that only caters to wealthy people in their late 50s? You're watching my review of Amazing Stories. Hello and welcome to Shows to Astonish, the sci-fi review show that plays it fast and loose with your immortal soul. I am your host, the FAT Mantis. Normally, I was going to do a video about the conspiracy theories that put us in our current predicament as we are in. Fortunately, YouTube is greatly censoring things about that subject, so unless you're a mainstream news source, you cannot even discuss it. So for now on, I will no longer be using the C word, the Q word, or the T word in any of my videos. That's right, I got to avoid that topic. So I figure I'll just review episodes 1 and 2 of Amazing Stories from Apple Plus. A lot of people are asking why revitalize this show? Was it good in the first place? So in truth, it was actually considered a very expensive flop back in the day, in 1985 and 1986. However, it has critical acclaim. It has high production value and incredible stories. One might say they're amazing. Steven Spielberg set out to capture the true sci-fi off-the-wall essence of pulp from back in the 20s. We acquired the rights to the title Amazing Stories, a 1926 and beyond publication of short stories and anthologies, and these were stories you couldn't get anywhere else. This is for the true sci-fi lover within you. We've got H.G. Wells, we've got Jules Verne, we've got Isaac Asimov, we've got a ton of other great science fiction writers who have actually published in the pages of Amazing Stories. They are all over the place, and they were just stories you cannot get anywhere else, and that essence was encapsulated in a show in the 80s, and now they have revitalized it for Apple Plus. Now, I cannot go into it before we discuss the opening. Why would I discuss the opening? It's because Amazing Stories from 1985 has the greatest opening to any television show I have ever seen in my life. The music starts off, a horn is blown, and epic music begins to play as we watch a caveman telling an epic tale to his family around a fire in a cave in ancient times. In old school CGI, this was the 80s after all, goes to ancient Egypt. We see scrolls flying through the air, eventually a book flapping like a butterfly. We are traveling through the very essence of storytelling throughout the ages. Then transfixes into the stars as we see a starship above the planet Earth. It pans down, the electric glow from a city top. As we pan closer, we realize though that is not a city at all, but the reflective lights coming off the chrome of a microchip. It pans back, we see our original caveman. Realize that caveman is on a television screen, and who is sitting there watching but the American family. Now, I will say that is the greatest opening to any series ever in the history of humanity. And unfortunately, in this new revitalization, they did not come to even close standards. If you look at it right now, this is a subpar rendition of it. They used computer graphics, and certainly a beginning was done. They use John Williams' beautiful score, absolutely, but it is unworthy of that score if you look at it. Trust me, it is high definition, it is good CGI, it's thrilling, it's amazing, but you know what it does? It does less with more. Well, the one from the 80s was able to tell the epic tale that is the very essence of storytelling. It's mind-boggling that they were able to pull this off, and that's what kind of a creative energy and rich background of storytelling that Amazing Stories has for us. Let's get into this review. So episode 1 is called The Cellar, a time travel story about star-crossed lovers that are bouncing between the year 2019 and the year 1919. It has a very time traveler's wife feel to it. The story takes the compelling topic of time travel and manages to not form an opinion or discuss philosophical implications whatsoever. I have seen more sophisticated storytelling in episodes of Power Rangers involving time travel. Almost nothing was accomplished here. The actual vehicle that allows them to travel through time was paper thin and didn't make any sense on any level. It was simply there to prevent the characters from using it when they felt like it, or allow them to abuse it and overuse it in other scenes with little explanation. I will say that because of Victoria Pedretti's performance, I did buy the romance part. She is an American treasure. She has this unique ability to express two simultaneous emotions, the emotions that scare men when they're on the face of women more than anything on this planet. It is a look of sheer distraught and helplessness and need, and the look of psychotic rage. I'm going to burn your house down. And somehow she's able to pull it off. I am not even going to try to show you my imitation of it because I would just insult you and insult this beautiful actress. She is very good at looking like she is in love, and she certainly sold it on that angle. This was not a well-chosen season opener. Now, I'm not sure if actual streaming services care what their pilot or their season openers are the way normal network or cable might do. However, I will say this would be a bad example of what storytelling can be. Next, we have Heat. It is about two teenage girls from the inner city who are on track teams who have come to the conclusion that the only way out of the hood is through their talent and a possible scholarship. So therefore, they have no choice but winning. Eventually, the supernatural hook is revealed to us. And I will say, similar to the last episode, nothing new was explored. Heat ends up being a ghost story. And not a particularly scary one. At times it was poignant. I definitely felt emotion here. And as a matter of fact, to discuss this episode, I'm going to have to release a spoiler. So spoiler alert about the ending. The few good parts about it ended up being retconned when the final moments of the episode reveal that it was all a dream, essentially slapping the viewer right in the face. I will say on the good side, this did appear like it would be a high-budget episode of Black Lightning. Furthermore, it certainly had way more drama than I was expecting. A lot of tears, a lot of emotion, a lot of pathos. It certainly is a story that needed to be told and needed to be put on the screen. I just don't know if Amazing Stories is where this particular story should have been told. The original series was based around a certain level of campiness. It was unapologetic sci-fi. I don't mean science fiction, I mean sci-fi. It was crazy, quirky, strange stories that no one else would take and no one else would put on the screen other than Steven Spielberg when he's young and rich and successful and drunk. And the new series had this problem. It lost the theme of the quirky science fiction. Both The Cellar and Heat took themselves far too seriously, and at no point were there comical moments or any type of lightheartedness that you found in the original series. So therefore, they are blatantly alienating anyone who enjoyed the original series. And that was a fail, particularly a failure in my heart. I did not care for that at all. Dry science fiction stories that are not having any fun. And let's face it, we turn on TV to have fun. If I want to go cry or something, I will turn on Downton Abbey. Another problem with this is that they gave them long, flagship, HBO-style running times of 55 minutes each. While the original airtime was around 24 to 26 minutes in the 1980s, I can honestly say I might even like these episodes a little more if they were edited down. We live in an age where everyone believes themselves to be an artist, even when they're telling a dry science fiction story about a cellar that can take you back in time if it's raining out. And I gotta tell you, what I'm seeing here is far from artwork. I'll tell you the production value is there, but will this be another high production flop like the first one? The only difference is the original series will have timeless episodes. Episodes I plan to continue to review in doing retro reviews for that show, because that is a quality show, and if you've slept on it, I don't know what you're doing, broham. It is Apple, after all, and if they can make all these tablets and funky technology and everything sleek, and they're going to build the robots that eventually kill and replace us, I would like to see what they do on television. Currently, right now, as my original joke had told you, I am not very impressed with what they are dishing out. Tell me, are any of you guys into anything that Apple Plus is? Is there anything that you're saying, I gotta see, I gotta get my hands on that, man? I gotta see that rock and roll adaptation of Emily Dickinson. But until next time, I would like you to like, share, subscribe. Keep tuning in for the Fat Mantis for more sci-fi and horror reviews. And until next time, ciao for now.